Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Taylor. It's so nice to have you. Hit the subscribe button if you like what you see, and stay tuned for more videos about London, traveling, clothing, beauty, whatever. My 1 year in London has just passed, so I figured I'd record a video about what I wish I knew before moving here. So without further ado, let's get started. Number one, London is super spread out. I had been here so many times, but when you visit, you generally stay in one place and maybe like venture out like 2 or 3 times to go to the touristy areas. But oh my God, London is so spread out. It's compared to any other city I've ever lived in before. I never noticed it until I lived here. No matter where you're going, it's gonna take at least 30 minutes to get there. So living in zone 1 doesn't matter, because no matter where you live, you're gonna have to travel at least 30 minutes to get there. It's the way it is. Even if you live in central, you'll end up wanting to go to East London or to Southwest or to West London, and it'll take you at least 30 minutes. So I wouldn't be too focused on finding a place to live in zone 1. It just is so silly at that point, and it costs a lot more money. Number 2 is, don't settle on the first flat that you find. If you don't love it, don't get it. There are tons of flats in London that you can find on websites like Spare Room or like Rightmove. For Spare Room, that's great if you're looking for a flat share. So if you're gonna just rent out the room and live with other people that you may not know, they do really great little mixers at pubs and stuff. So I did that when I first moved here, and I found a flat that way. So I was just me on my lease and no one else, so I didn't know the other people. I didn't want anyone else on the lease with me. Or you can find things on Rightmove, which is great if you're looking for an entire flat. But don't feel rushed trying to pick something just because an estate agent is pressuring you. That's what happened to me, and I ended up living in a tiny dump for 6 months. It was a dirty, crowded dump, and it was miserable, and I should have looked a little bit harder. I also ended up spending a fortune because I didn't look around. But yeah, that's how you end up making rash decisions, because an estate agent will sit there and lie and tell you that, oh, there's so many people looking to live in this flat. I have 5 more viewings today. If you don't feel like it's home upon entering, don't do it. Number 3, London isn't actually that expensive. Most people who live in the city don't actually go to the touristy bits, which are obviously the more expensive parts. There are so many other areas in the city to hang out in, and there's so much going on that odds are you can find something for free to do, or you can find something that's not expensive if you head a little bit outside of the center. And I'm not even saying that far. Just like if you're in central London, things are gonna be the price of a city. I've heard a lot of English people say that they think that London is less expensive than New York City. I find them to be pretty comparable, but if, just like anywhere you're going, if you go to a local spot, you're not gonna spend 10 pounds on a drink. If you go to a cocktail bar, that's minimum of what you're gonna spend on a drink. But you can find places to go that you don't have to like break the bank or whatever. Number 4, there are a ton of expats living here. I hate to say it, but I feel like I hang out with mostly Americans. Most of my blogging friends are English or from other places in the world, whereas like my friends that I see on a day-to-day basis, most of the people I live with are American. The English people that I hang out with regularly are my one flatmate and my boyfriend and his roommates. You might be wondering why I moved to another country to hang out with Americans, but honestly, it's just comforting sometimes, because even though we both speak English, British people speak English much differently than American people speak English, and sometimes it's just nice to have a taste of home. So if you're feeling homesick or anything like that, you can find people from your home country. London is a huge melting pot. There's so many different nationalities here, and odds are you'll come across someone who's from the country you're from. It's bound to happen. Number 5, you don't have to live central. I lived in East London for 6 months, and it was probably considered more central than where I live now. I'm currently in Southwest, and I like it 1,000 times better. The price, I pay 40 more pounds than I was paying the last time, and the last time my last flat, I just had like a bedroom, and I shared a kitchen and a bathroom with 5 other people. This house, I have a bedroom that is probably 3 times the size of my old bedroom. We have 2 bathrooms, a massive kitchen, a living room, a garden, and there's 6 full bedrooms. So your money will get you more the further away from central London you are, but you'll also get more of like a home feel. So I live where I live even more than where I did before, because the vibe is just great. There are a ton of local businesses. There's a lot of parks. It's just like a better neighborhood vibe. I live on a street of houses. It doesn't get too busy. I used to live in front of a bus stop before and it was so loud. It's just nice to live a little bit further out. So, number 6, the internet is your friend. So we obviously live in a time where social media drives our lives, and that is no different from moving. If I hadn't used the internet in some shape or form since I moved here to meet people, I would have no friends. When I first moved here, I went on a Facebook group called London New Girl, and I spoke to a ton of people that way. I live with a girl that I met on Bumble BFF, so definitely use that app. It sounds like some people think it's awkward to use, but like it worked out well for me. And then I met my boyfriend on Hinge. I've met most of my friends here on Instagram. I mean, it's just the way that our time is now. The internet is your friend. It's not weird if you message someone and say, hey, let's meet up. It's just not weird anymore. It really isn't. Number 7, there is so much going on all the time. My favorite way to find out what's going on in London is by subscribing to the Londonist newsletter. I get just the weekend version one now, but when I first moved here, I got like a daily version, a weekly version, and a weekend version. And it's crazy to see the kind of things that are going on in London. Just because there's so many different neighborhoods, there's so many different vibes, and there's a ton of different activities you can go to. And most of them are actually free. And if not, it'll let you know on there. I don't think I've ever seen anything that crazy expensive on there. Some things will run you £5 or a tenner. And there's a lot of markets, a lot of pop-up events, vintage markets, concerts, foodie stuff. There's always something going on. Number 8, talking about the weather will actually make you feel more like a Londoner. I've lived here for a year and I've never talked about the weather more in my life. Rain or shine, someone has something to say about the weather. It's just the way that it is. And it's funny because at first you'd think, why am I talking about the weather all the time? But it's just what people like to do here. They like to moan about the weather. A lot of these people have lived in England their whole lives and they're still complaining about the rain. But even when it's sunny, people talk about the weather. They can't believe that it's sunny or it's way too hot. All last summer, you have everyone complaining that it's raining before it got nice out, and then it was nice out and everyone's like, it's so hot, it hasn't rained in a month, what are we gonna do? It's just really funny to listen to. So number 9 is going to be that Londoners love to take advantage of nice weather. I don't know if I took it for granted living in Florida for so long, but I guess good weather here is sometimes few and far between. And I remember the first nice day that we had, that it was like warm and not rainy and the sky was blue and the sun was shining, and all of a sudden it seemed like the population of London tripled. Everyone was outside, the sidewalks were packed outside of the pubs, there was not an inch of green left at the parks, and it was just absolutely beautiful. I just love how everyone's out. So it's just really nice to see everybody coming outside. Number 10, don't take the Gatwick Express, the Stansted Express, or the Heathrow Express. I travel a lot, so I'm at the airport quite a bit, and I learned the hard way that spending £25 a pop just to take a train that's going to get you to the station faster is ridiculous. Take the tube to Heathrow, it's the Piccadilly line, it's very simple, it might take you a while, but it's easy. Take the train from London Bridge or Clapham Junction to get to Gatwick Airport. I think you can also take the Thames, I think it's a Thames link. I think that's like £11 compared to like the £25 Gatwick Express. And then if you're going to Stansted, you can take the National Express, which is a bus. If you live in East London or North London, it's very cheap. I think it's like £7 return. Very cheap. Do that. Number 11, and my final one, I could go on for ages, but I'm going to wrap it up with this one, is that you need a contactless credit card to survive. A credit card, debit card, whatever. It's funny because most American people probably won't know what a contactless card is, but I got mine a week before I moved, and it changed my life. I use it for groceries. I use it instead of an Oyster card on the tube. Use it at the bar. Use it anywhere, basically. I think it's £25 I can tap on it and not have to sign, because let me tell you, when I have to sign a card, first of all, it takes people like 20 minutes to find a pen, and then I get questions why the back of my card is not signed, and then people need to look at my ID, and then it takes forever, and it's just like a whole ordeal. So get yourself a contactless card. Just do it. It'll save your life. But yeah, so that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and be sure to follow me along. Be sure to follow along with me on my other social media. I'll put all links below. But I will see you in a week. Bye.